anime. There's something about anime that's just so special, you know? It's like this big beach where there's one treasure that is just the best thing ever, you know? But it's hidden under all that shitty ass sand. I think the best comparison I can give with anime is Roblox, you know? It's full of kids who claim that they are above 18 or 18. Um, but more importantly, about 98% is just complete fucking horrible, you know? It's just ass. But there's that 1%, that 1% that's weirdly really fucking good. And it's weird because if you're not a weeb like me, you probably hate it that it is anime. Maybe I'm the only person, but my one of my favorite shows of all time is Attack on Titan. I mean, like, goddamn, that this is not even on purpose. I'm literally wearing an Attack on Titan shirt right now. But anyway, Attack on Titan is an anime, and I kind of always hated it a little bit of the part that it is an anime, because you know you're kind of comparing it to that group, and you only have a few animes where they're just so good that they stand out of that group. You know that there are a lot of people who watch them even though they don't even like anime. You know, it rarely happens, but they're still always put in that group. Same as that, you know, you play a Roblox game, like that one game that you really like, and then you try to tell your friends, please play Phantom Forces with me, but they won't because it's a stupid ass Roblox game, and they just don't realize how good it actually is. Because why would they? Why would they try? But what is even more underrated at times is anime movies. Now you're probably already wondering, anime movies, do those even exist? Yes, they do. They do. But you have anime, and it's gonna sound weird, and you have Japanese animated. Now these are technically the same, you might think, but the one is with fan service, boobas, and plots that don't go anywhere, and the other is just normal movies, but they are just in anime style. But people get them confused between each other, and that's why people just think that it's all anime. So today, I want to talk about one of these movies, and more specifically, also the director who makes a lot of these movies, that in my opinion are very unwatched, but more importantly, very underrated just because people look at them like anime. I mean, most of my friends haven't even seen this movie when I talk to them about it. They don't even know what the fuck the movie was. So today, I'm gonna be talking about one of these special movies, Princess Mononoke. I also like to point out that I am not Japanese. I'm sorry. So I don't know how the fuck to pronounce any of this shit. Okay, let's go. So first of all, I want to talk about Hayao Miyazaki, something like that. This guy is probably one of my favorite directors of all time. I'm not even joking. This guy made, like I said in the beginning, some fantastic underrated movies. But I do realize one simple pattern, and it's that everybody, like, at least has seen one of his movies, which for a Japanese director is kind of insane. So it still shows that his movies are just that good. And I think a lot of people watch Spirited Away, which has about I think an 8.6 on IMDb, and everybody kind of had their own movie. You have Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke, which one as well? House Moving Castle, and Ponyo, you probably never ever heard of. And everybody kind of has their own like movie that they at least saw. Like one of these movies you have at least seen in your childhood. Like for a Japanese director, that already shows that is how good his movies are. Um, So, and most of people, it's Spirited Away again. And for me, you might think it was Princess Mononoke, but it was actually Ponyo, which is like you have like these top four movies, and then you kind of have Ponyo, which is also there. But the movie is so weird. I'll do another video about it. But anyway, but when I saw Princess Mononoke, I remember it very well. Well, it was at school. It was at elementary school, and my teacher was just like, "Yo, we're gonna watch something epic." And I had a weird school. I'm not gonna talk about it. It's too much lore. But basically, my school didn't have like straight like classes and all that shit. It was just people coming and doing random shit. It's hard to explain. And one guy was just like, "Yo, we're gonna watch this movie. It's called Princess Mononoke. It's gonna be epic, all right." And I was just like, I remember it so well. I was just this little kid, and I was just like, all right, this sounds cool. And I remember that opening so well because it opens. Spoiler alert! Probably should mention that in the first place because later I'm gonna talk about the story. But it opens with a demon, and you see like this demon-looking hawk thing that's covered in like leeches, kind of. And like this thing looks insane. And I remember like as a kid being like, yeah, I'm a grown up now, and that's like it's so weird because all of his movies, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, and My Neighbor Totoro are also very friendly, family friendly, just like Ponyo. And that's why also I really wanted to talk about Princess Mononoke because Princess Mononoke is very different. It's also his oldest, very successful movie, of the four. It's in like 1970. But what makes it stand out of all of his movies is that it's so much more gruesome. You have scenes where he shoots someone's head off with like an arrow because he's that powerful, like shit like that. And the demons look insane. So it's very different. And that leads me to my next point, which doesn't really hang in with this, but is that I don't understand why his movies got this low. It's insane. Like you have movies or like shows like Rick and Morty. I don't know what they got. I think like a 9 or something. And like I'm just like lately it with movies, it's always like or it's extremely good or it's extremely bad, right? But like these movies need to be higher. Like Spirited Away, it's perfectly not my favorite movie, but it is his best movie, right? And it's an 8.6. That's so fucking low. If you haven't seen it, see it, and then you'll know what I mean. Like it's insane. And that's also again, like I said in the beginning, like it's underrated and so because Princess Mononoke has a score of 8.3. That's incredibly like low for a movie that good. And I'm gonna explain to you throughout this video in different topics why this movie definitely deserves higher. So first of all, we're gonna talk obviously about the basics. What the hell is this movie even about? Because I'm already like 5 minutes in and you don't even know what the fuck this movie is about. So let's start with the story. So now, finally the story. And this is gonna be a bit weird because I'm not actually gonna explain the movie story because I'm already gonna explain spoilers, but I kind of like not wanted to be like, oh, then this happened, like note by note, just watch the movie. And also because the movie is like, now this happens, now this happens, now this happens, and the movie's like 2 hours and like a half long or some shit. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna explain the overall lore so you get the movie basically. Okay, so it's basically like this, okay? You have gods and you have demons. Very simple. But demons are basically creatures, I think they're mostly just gods who are like extremely like go into rage mode that they turn into demons, right? They're like so full of hate that they get cursed basically and they turn into a demon. And these gods, you have about five, I think. You have the main elder god dude, who's like, yo, what up? He's like a deer or some shit. And he's called the god of life and death because he can regenerate anything, basically. He can heal anyone. And his main place in the story is basically in this magical forest, in like the Elder Forest, I think it's called, in a lake, and in that in that lake, if you lie there, you get healed. Basically, that's like the whole shit. The god comes up to you and fucking heals you with magical powers. Okay, that's the main god. Then you have the wolf, tribal furry god camp, whatever tribe. All right, and it consists of one, the main god dude of that wolf tribe, two younger wolf tribe gods, and a woman. And I know what you're gonna say. Oh my god, woman go with Wolfpack. They furries weren't invented during 1970. They didn't know yet, alright? So just don't get any weird ideas. It's just a normal woman, alright? Just because he hangs out with wolves has nothing to do with it, alright? So just bear that in mind. But anyway, and you have that wolf pack, alright? And you then have the monkey pack, or I'm just call them tribes, okay? The monkey tribe gods. And those are basically, you see them like two times in the story. They're very weird. I don't fucking know. All right, they're just also there. And then you have the boar tribe, and the boar tribe are also there, but they're like quantity over quality. They're immensely stupid, and immensely full of like gewoon rawr. It's just so dumb, but anyway, just bear with me, all right? And they're dumb, all right? Like every tribe kind of has their thing. The elder god and the wolves are way more wise, and the boars and the monkeys are way more in quantity. Like they're kind of dumb, but they're just that massive, right? And they all have one thing in common. They hate humans. Why do they hate humans? Well, because there's this village, and it's called Iron Village, alright? It's not really the own, like, reason, but that's what the story resolves around. There's this village, it's called Iron Village, or not Iron Village, but they have iron. And it's, like, insane, right? Because with this iron, they don't make bows or well, the points of bows, or swords. They make guns. All right, yeah, I know, medieval swords, bows. No, guns. All right, weird era, but it doesn't matter. So they make guns, and that makes them basically way too OP in this whole player base. Okay, they just be fucking owning every other human army ever. Like every battle they just win. All right, they're way too OP. And so for this iron, they cut the forest because I don't know, they need power. And it's basically like a whole thing from, oh my god, guys, industrialization is bad. But it's not like it's done right, weirdly. Like a lot of movies where it's like, oh my god, the animals are so cute and then humans are so bad. It's basically like that, but here's done way better, where the humans actually have good reasons and they aren't really that evil. Like the Iron Village camp leader is woman, okay? I don't know how to explain it more. It's a sexy ass woman. And that woman has an army of also women. It's very weird. I don't fucking know. And they own like those guns and Iron Village, and they're very cool. All right. But that woman isn't necessarily evil. She's just like, yo, I need this for my people, or else we're gonna die. Like our village has no function, or else. And she also wants to show them to not fear gods, which is very important to later. All right. Keep that in your little brain, all right? But anyway, so you have humans, to clarify, because this is probably all very confusing. You have humans, all right? And they're big bad because they ruin the forest. And then you have like the elder gods, and you have some who are wise, one who is just very OP, and the other are idiots, right? And throughout this whole movie, the main human tribe has war with these gods, except for the main elder god, because he's just kind of neutral. He's just kind of chilling and doing whatever, right? Until the end, but that's important later. So this movie is about the main character who just gets fucking, well, cursed, basically. It just gets like demon cursed because he fights a demon. And like I said earlier, a demon is a god who gets so enraged and sicko mode that he becomes a demon. And this demon used to be a boar god. It's not important. I'm just making it more complex. Don't worry about it, okay? The main character is fighting a demon. He gets cursed, so he tries to find help. And during this whole story of where he tries to find like kind of a cure, he kind of discovers the girl of the wolf tribe who I talked about earlier. Don't get any weird thoughts. She's just normal. And he kind of falls in love with her because of course she does, or he does. And in meanwhile, he kind of realizes that he doesn't really want to help his own curse. He kind of wants to use his demon curse to help the gods win this war against humans. Because he's like, oh, the humans are cool, and then later he realizes, oh, they're kind of assholes. So I'm on the god side now. I'm on the wolf girl side right now. That's basically the story. But meanwhile, in that journey, realizing that he wants to help others, he eventually also helps himself, which is like, oh my god. Because this demon curse also gives him superpowers. I know, super random, but yeah, he like also can do very strong shit. So he's basically inhuman, and with that ability, but also with that curse, he tries to help the gods, you know, fuck those humans, right? So this is all epic and shit. And it starts with that the boars get nay-nayed by the humans at war, because the boars are just dumbasses, alright? And the humans do like this little trap, like, oh my god, don't come to this place, we don't have booby traps. And the boars are like, fuck them. And then they just go in quantities and just all get killed. That's like one of the main battles throughout the movie. It's like pretty fucking funny. And then you have the monkey tribe, who's also like, fuck humans, but they just throw rocks or some shit. I don't know, they're very weird. And then you have the wolf tribe, and then that main girl from the wolf tribe who has like really weird fighting skills, who tries to kill, who also like all the other tribes tries to kill, you know, the Iron Village humans, because humans bad. But they are actually smart. So like this chick has like ninja skills, and she tries to kill the main leader instead of just starting this massive war, because the wolves are very smart, but there are only like 3 of them. So like they're very like still very strong, but like they don't have an army like the boars do, right? So this girl tries to kind of attack this woman, the leader woman from the Iron Village camp. And while that happened, the main character is just kind of like in that iron camp trying to find a cure. And he's just like, whoa, this wolf lady is so cool. I'm a helper because humans bad. So he does this like most anime shit ever. Like help that girl, and just like, bro, stop. Okay, war's bad. And then he helps that girl get shot right through his like heart and shit, because demon powers, he keeps walking. And it's like, oh my god, he's so emotional. He tries to help that girl, and then he almost fucking dies. So the girl takes him again to the Forest of Resurrection, where he was earlier with the soldiers. Remember, keep in mind, alright? I know this is complex, but you think, okay? So he gets there again, gets healed by the god, but for spoiler alert, his demon curse doesn't get healed. So it's like, like, oh my god, he is just really fucked. Or is he? So then, now it gets interesting, right? So this main female leader chick is like, alright, we fucked the wolf tribe, basically. We fucked the boars. We fucked them all. We're gonna try to kill a god. You know, it's like, oh my god, what the fuck? So what she does is basically, like, meanwhile while war is going on, again, my memory is a bit vague, alright, just bear with me, but she tries to kill the elder god, which is basically unkillable, or you think. So she just like, they go to the forest, they try to trick the boars and turn one boar into a demon, and therefore like the wolves are kind of busy fighting that demon, and all the boars are already killed. So meanwhile the humans just kind of like sneak by, and like while the elder god is basically unprotected, try to kill the elder god. That's basically what it is about. And the main character tries to help the girl and be like, no, I'm gonna help you, and then run off. But your massive plot twist, the humans actually win, and they fucking like, she's like, oh my god, it doesn't take one bullet while she has shot the god. So she shoots again, and just fucking blows the head of the elder god, and it's like extremely random, and like, what the hell, was he dead like shit? But no, he wasn't, because like she takes the box, and basically how it works, it's very weird, but okay. More complex time, right? Bear with me, alright? The elder god has like 2 phases, day and moon, alright? Or some shit like that. During the day, he's like, well, mortal, basically. He gets shot and then L. And during the night, he turns into, well, the night sky, basically. Like in the day, he's just like a immortal deer, basically. In the night, he's like the night sky, basically. It's a massive blob monster. It's impossible to explain. Here's an image. But yeah, and basically how it works, he kind of like relives, I guess, every night. Relives is not the right. Resurrects every day, or every day and night cycle, basically. In the night, he kind of like resurrects and then turns when the sun rises into his old day form again. And basically how you kill this elder god is basically shooting him like before like nightfall, basically, or actually during nighttime is probably the smartest. Just kill that fucker, or well, during daytime, I'm making it more confusing. During daytime, killing that fucker, and then just trying to make sure that the god doesn't get his head back, because he needs his whole body to like regen. I don't know. It's very weird. All right, I don't fucking know. So he kind of just like, oh my god, give me my head back. They just run off. They, decapitate his ass with the bullet, but he's technically not dead, even though he lost his head. And then nighttime comes and he just like turns into this like monster thing. Oh, it's already nighttime. It's not important, all right? He turns into this night monster thing, and they run off with the head, trying to be like, oh my god. And before sunrise, he has to be resurrected, right? So if he doesn't get his head before sunrise, he's fucked, alright? He's dead. He's actually dead. Like the immortal god, who's sometimes mortal, is actually just dead, alright? It's very complicated, I know. Hopefully these videos throughout help a little bit to understand what I mean, but yeah. So they decapitate his ass again, run off with his head like LLL, and they almost win, but then the main character, who finally saves his wolf tribe girlfriend and just the wolves in general from the boar, you didn't forget that, right? Which was also going on, and then just runs off trying to get the head back from the god, so that the god can relive, right? And meanwhile, while the god tries to get his head back, he goes into fucking sicko mode, because he's night form, so he's immortal, but only till sunrise, because if he doesn't get his head back again, I'm explaining too much, but just so you get it, he fucking dies, right? So he turns into this like night mode and fucking goes sicko mode, and basically night mode and day mode, extra explanation, like I mentioned earlier, he's the god of life and death. Basically in day form, spoiler alert, he's life, and in night form he's death. Night form, he turns into this night sky blob thing, and if you touch it, you're fucking dead, alright? So he like turns massive and basically destroys the whole forest, because everything like that blob thing touches, and it's a massive blob, dies. So they try to run off, meanwhile like this blob, like basically lava, is like going towards them like, shit dog. And meanwhile the main character is also trying to get the people who get the head from the elder god, because he doesn't want the elder god to die, because he's a good person. So in the end, epic battle. The main character and the wolf tribe girl recover the head from the god just in time, raise it, epic Legends of Zelda moment, and the night god, right before sunrise or some shit like that, gets his head back and like wins basically, and it's epic. And then he turns back into his like normal elder god, and like the end of the movie. That's basically the whole story. So, I think what I like about this movie so much is that just the overall art style is so beautiful. I think one of the things that I already don't really like about modern animation is that it's so CGI, and so there is no real motivation or discipline behind it. I know that sounds very philosophical and stupid at the same time, but what I mean with that is when you look at old anime, it's a lot of scenes, especially in Princess Mononoke, are just completely drawn out. And you can really, even though on computer versus a human, it shouldn't really be a difference if you just like have better graphics or some shit, but it isn't. Like there's or there is definitely a difference. Like if you look at Princess Mononoke with their art style, it's so to like the minimum or to the maximum detail. It's insane. Every shot just feels like a background wallpaper. It's insane. And combined with this badass story that isn't really that good, but it just fits the overall artistic style of the whole just movie actually so well that it just really works. It works so well. It's, I think, a perfect reference point to this is Tron Legacy. I fucking love that movie, and the story is kind of ass. Like it's not bad, but it's also not really good. But like it doesn't really matter because the overall like music, which you also have in this music, and just how everything looks blends so well. Like it's so hard to explain why a movie like Princess Mononoke is so good. I'm trying my best, but it's so hard to explain why it's so good because you really have to watch it for yourself frame by frame to see what really makes this movie so special. And I really hope with all that scenes that you have seen so far, that you kind of want to see this movie, or at least realize why that movie is actually why this movie is so good, because it just is. Like that style is just perfect, and it's so different from any movie I've ever seen. I've seen actually quite some animated movies. Just like another great one is The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, who I maybe want to do a review on, but I don't think so I ever will. But that movie also just has like, it's so old, and that makes the art style so beautiful. But this movie captured it so much better with the world, and that's kind of my second point why this movie is so great. You know, obviously the art style and stuff, and like Tron Legacy, it's blend very well with the world. But the world is also just kind of a separate part, which makes it so good. Like again, the story's all over the place, but that mythology, that lore that the world has is so fucking interesting. Like the whole gods and demons dilemma, and with all these different tribes and one owning guns, and it's like, oh my god, that just makes it so interesting and so cool to see, and how everything feels so original and different. You've never seen anything like Princess Mononoke. You never will. You can quote me on that. You'll never see anything like it. It's insane. Like you'll never see something like how the gods are depicted or how the demons are depicted. You'll never see anything like it. It's so different, and it makes it so original and also so interesting because it blends so well with each other. The story really has this like mystical, kind of fairy like, mythical, godlike, I'm saying too many terms, but elements to it. But at the same time, there's this like little tip on the top, like dark fantasy like element with the whole like how gruesome everything is, and the demons look like some shit straight out of Dark Souls, and it makes it so cool and interesting. It's so cool. Like that's the only thing I can say. It's just that dope, and I really like that. And I also like a third thing, is that I really like how the humans are, weirdly. I know that sounds stupid. I already said it a lot in the story part, but I really like how the humans aren't like just evil. You know, they like the main chick, who leads the Iron Village thing, is like not even bad or anything. Like she just tries to help their people, and like she doesn't really care about the gods because she's kind of like done with the gods just owning them. Like she's just like, you know, I'm gonna show you how to kill a god, you know. Like she wants to show, especially to all the women that she has, that they are powerful too, and they and also they just need food and shit, and they kind of like sucked at every war until they just got guns, so they want to use it to their advantage. So it makes perfect sense. And the gods are also not that good or evil. Even the elder god depicted at this, well, god thing is not really evil. Like, it's the most neutral thing ever. It has no opinion. Throughout the whole story, 1,000 things die, but the god doesn't care. I mean, it has some tone of opinion. Something I didn't mention in the story is that, so the boar, like one of the boar tribe people gets infected, right? One of the boars, and then that's how the main character gets infected by the demon curse thing. But later in the story, like the most elder boar of the boar tribe gods also gets infected, and get demon curse and shit. And but that boar then comes to the lake because they try to save that boar. Be like, oh my god, we gotta cure it from the demon case. But the god is just like, nah, the other god doesn't heal him. So there's some bias to it, and it's interesting. And I don't know, like, it has, I guess, some opinion, but it's still very neutral. And I don't know, it's very weird to explain why I like that so much, but I just like it. It gives a more mystical element. I think what a lot of movies do wrong these days is they explain too much. I know how stupid that sounds, but they explain too much. You miss that element of mystical a lot of movies, and especially in this movie, nothing is explained. It's just depicted in your face, and that's why, like during the story part, it's so like ass. When you probably saw me like explain for like 14 minutes how the story works, and it's probably incredibly confusing. Maybe you probably clicked off a few times because it's just like it's so hard to explain why how the story works because there is almost no explanation to it. It's just this is the story. Good luck. It's just a driving point for the art and the world to take a hold of you and take place, and that makes it so well beautiful. Um, and very weirdly, fourth thing, well, it's not weird, but it's just out of place right now. Music. I think music is just very good. You already heard a bit of the soundtrack in the intro that I had, but just when you see this movie, you gotta on that soundtrack. The soundtrack is really just it fits the tone so well. I love it. That's all that I gotta say. It's just a very good soundtrack and all. So I think my overall score for this movie is a 10 out of 10. You probably, if you have good eyes, you probably saw in one of the screenshots that I showed that I gave the movie a 10. It's just a 10. It's such a good movie. There's no flaw. Like, there are some bad, maybe like some people like it less because of the less explanation and some shit just happens. But it's just, with that, it feels so magical with that whole music and stuff I mentioned earlier. It just takes a hold of you. Like, it doesn't matter how the story really goes because you're like not really focusing on that, and just how it looks is just so wonderful. And therefore I also think that I could a little bit understand why people rate it lower than like a 9. I think it deserves a 9, but personally I'll give it a 10, right? But I understand why some people might give it a little bit lower than a 9 because it is like it's not a movie for everyone, obviously, just like every movie. Again, it's 2 hours and a half long, and the story is about basically nothing. So it's not for everyone, right? But I think this movie, again, like I said, deserves a 9. But in my opinion, it's just a 10. It's a 10 out of 10 because of everything I just said. And also, I hopefully hope that the story is not that complex. But yeah, for you guys to understand. But yeah. Uh, this has been a video since a long time. I really didn't want to address the fact that I didn't upload a video for like 2 months, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I know this video is very sloppy and very different. That's because I made a bet that I would make this video in a week, and now it's Sunday at night. So I'm like very close to it, and I'm just kind of rushing this video. But I am planning on making more videos that are probably way better than this, so don't worry about that. So I'll be uploading more lately, and I know that's a curse word to say for me lately, but I'll try, and I think it will work. So hopefully you guys are happy for more videos, or yeah, that's it. I'm very bad at English right now. It's way too fucking late. But anyway, like and subscribe if you like this video. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing, and hopefully you guys liked some bits of it. And I'll see you guys in the future.